Ding. Oh, I'm going to play. Hold on. I'm going to play that again.
Tune in to All About Wine with Ron on Flightline Radio.
Hey, here you go.
Ah, cool. Those were professionally done. All right, good.
Professionally, yes.
Yes.
So now we're on Facebook. Were we on Facebook last week when we...
Thursday, no. We weren't on social media.
No, I didn't think so.
I think we were just on here.
Yeah.
1 minute until showtime.
Let me go to chat real quick. I don't see anybody. No. Okay. Yeah, I'm connected. Yeah, we're connected.
We're going to talk about women and wine, because this is the month of the woman, or what is it? Month of the woman doesn't sound right. Women's Month.
Women's History?
March.
Is it Women's History Month?
Women's History Month, yeah, or something like that, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk about women and wine.
Okay.
Celebrating. March is celebrating women in businesses and stuff, I think. And there's all sorts of things going on around the country and around the world celebrating women. They had a big conference and all sorts of things. So I figured since this is a good opportunity to talk about women in the field of
Your
wine.
show will go live in 5 seconds.
Gosh,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
Blog Talk Radio.
This is All About Wine, the talk show dedicated to the wine industry since 2009. Featuring winemaker, cellar master, vineyardist, and tasting expert, Ron.
Basically, what we're trying to do on this program is just trying to educate people and trying to make wine less confusing and more friendly.
From coast to coast and around the world.
We really have had some neat people on the program. I love that.
Post your questions and comments during the live show on our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/allaboutwinebtr. Again, that's www.facebook.com/allaboutwinebtr. And now, All About Wine is on. Here's Ron.
Welcome to the show. There it is.
I was listening. We weren't live last week. Any of you who listen to us all the time heard that. I was listening to the show a little bit on Flightline Radio on Saturday morning. And after I listened to Mike, who is live every Saturday morning on Flightline Radio from 10 to noon. They have a repeat performance or a repeat broadcast of All About Wine. And so, since I listened to Mike for a while, I normally do taxes, and we got, power went out where I was working, and so I got here early, and which is very unusual this time of year. So, back to my story. I listened to All About Wine, and I listened to the opening. I listened to me going, all about wine, every time they say all about wine. And I am not saying it when it's recorded on the same time.
Right.
I am off just a little bit.
Yep.
And
there is a delay.
I didn't realize how badly that was off. I mean, what is it, 3 seconds?
I think you're about a second off. It's not too bad, but it's
but
about 1 to 2,
off.
3 seconds.
The point being, it is off.
Yeah.
And so I decided that I would stop doing that because it really sounded weird.
It's a good part of the show. Keep it.
I'll probably do it again because every time it comes on, I'm thinking all about wine, and so.
Yeah.
So I'll probably go back to doing it. But I really noticed that it was off. I didn't realize, it was sort of like an echo effect. And
there's a delay. There's a delay in Blog Talk Radio because they're taking, the phone line and all that, whatever you're on now. You're on the direct connect, I guess.
I'm on,
And then, so there's a delay there. And sometimes when we have a guest on, and I guess when I'm on, there's a delay between, like, I'm listening to you and there's a, maybe a moment of silence or a guest, and we start talking. Well, they're delayed as well. So they keep talking because they're not hearing it at the time that we're talking, because there's like a second delay, and we get into jams that way. It's not like a regular phone conversation where it's instant. There's you hear a break in silence, you're like, oh, blah 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 blah, but with the delay, they're not hearing you yet, so they keep talking. And then there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of confusion there sometimes when, when you're talking to somebody and they're like, well, I come up and there's a break and you go, well, what about this? Well, they don't hear what about this until they start talking again, sometimes. And it's like, oh no.
I see. Oh, because I've always noticed that.
Yeah. It's a little delay there. And I'm hearing
it was like when I say, Mike, is there any questions you have?
Yeah.
And then it's like you're running back from going out and getting a snack in the green room, and
waiting to I don't hear the question as it comes out, or even the guests. The guests we're on different times, I guess. It's just with the delays in there. It's an audio delay.
Wow. That's weird. Never thought about that. But I noticed it on the opening there, but I never thought about it on guests. But it's rather obvious because we do talk on top of people all the time, and never notice it. Never pay much attention to it.
I think they call it latency. There's latency. There's different things going on there, and it's just one of the microphones. I've gone through several microphones over the years, and there's a few that are, if I had it plugged in directly to my headset, it would be instantaneous. And I used to listen to the shows that way. I used to have it to where I can hear the voice coming out of this. When I'm talking, I hear it back through my headset, and because I know what it sounds like, and I know where I'm at, in the microphone's pickup field, but now that it's going through a software mixer that has a delay, I think it's a half second, and then the processing delays that it goes through for there's like audio compression, all this kind of stuff. It's a bunch of technical crap, but that causes a delay. So when I try to turn the monitor on to hear myself through the headset, it's like I'll go, hey, and I go, hey, and I'll go, oh, this ain't right. Oh, this ain't right. I'm like, I can't talk like this. I can't talk like this. And I could not. I tried it one time. I tried reading like a news thing, and I'm like, I can't read this and hear myself. It's just hearing that delayed, and it's terrible.
Oh, that little delay would drive you crazy.
Oh, yeah. I turned that thing off real quick because I can monitor it, but man, listening to that is no way. Turn that off real quick. I realized it was like a second later, but that's probably what's happening. But
that's enough. When I said the All About Wine, it sounds like that too. It's just got that little delay there, just just like a little echo.
Yeah. But see, you're saying it the way you're hearing it. So you're hearing it
exactly
in your time, even though it's already played. So by the time you're saying it, it's already done played, but you're hearing it at that time. So you're on time on your end. It's just not going out on time.
But when it goes through the system, it throws it off. Because I'm saying it exactly when I hear it, exactly right along with it, and then I listen to it and I'm going, wait a minute, I didn't say it late like that.
You were right on the money on your end. It sounded great. It's like all this time. It's perfect.
Then when the people hear it, they're going, why don't he say it with them?
15 years later, we're
weird. Yeah, really.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh well.
Oh well.
But it continues. So
I will continue doing it though. It's become a tradition.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I expected
it. Yeah. All right. We don't have a guest tonight. We, as you can see, Mike and I were just chit-chatting there, and if we had a guest, they would have called in. We would have hoped anyway. But we do have guests coming up. I mean, we are really. I've been busy booking. Next week, No Love Lost Wine Company is going to be with us, and Jay Nunez of No Love Lost Wine Company. The 28th, we are going to have Joy and Patrick from Boutique Wine, not Boutique, but Boutique Wine. And then going into April, the 4th, Dear Native Grapes. They're located in New York. Alfie is going to be on. And the 11th of April, we're going to have Kim from Korea on. And Mike, you and I need to talk about coordinating that and seeing that. But that's coming up on April the 11th. And then on April 18th, Jessica Cogan from Connect the Dots, which is a new wine company that is working with people and all that for wine. April 25th, Round Pond Estates is going to be on. We have Ryan and Miles from that. And then into May, let me turn my calendar here. I am working on a couple of them in May here. It's May the 5th, we're going to be doing a live show from London again, or Italy this time, I think. Where is he? He's located. He's in London. Okay. I've booked Mark, and he's in London. He's written a book called Italy in a Wine Glass. So we will be recording that show on May the 5th, and playing it probably May the 9th, again on May 9th, which is, I told him, we figured it was 5 hours difference between us and London. But we're on daylight saving time, so that puts us an hour ahead. I don't think Britain is on daylight saving time, so it's 24 hours difference.
They are, but it's at a different time. When I was on that other station that was located in England, we went to daylight savings time. We're back to regular time, and then I don't know, it was a month or two later, they switched. So we were 4 hours, like we're 4 hours now, until they changed their time, and then we're back to 5 hours. It was weird how they kept saying that. It's like, oh, are you on UK standard? Or I was like, what? But I'll find out for sure if that's what they're doing. But
May the 5th is when we're doing the show, so I don't know if they're on. Yeah,
which is
it's going to be 5 hours.
Cinco de Mayo. Oh, it's a Cinco de Mayo day. Okay. That's
is it?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, there you go. 5th of May, Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. It is. I don't think he really cares in England, though. So.
Yeah. You're right.
That's about as far away as you can get from a Cinco de Mayo celebration. London, yeah. We're going to celebrate Cinco de Mayo. You're going to what?
What is that again?
So that's what we got coming up. We got a busy April and all that. So we've got guests, coming up. So stay tuned and listen. We should be quite busy and getting some very interesting guests over the next 2 months. Actually, it looks like. And I'm not done yet. I'm still working on others. It becomes crazy trying to get people booked, and they have, actually I need one too, somebody that does this for me, but they have somebody that books for them, different wineries, different things. They will say, the person that books it, whatever they are, says, I've got this show I'd like you to be on. Would you be interested? And they go, yes. And so they contact me and they say, we got so-and-so to be interested on your show. And I said, great. When can they do it? So they have to contact them and say, when can you do it? Then they contact me back, so we can do it on April the 18th. Then they contact me and says, is April 18th open? I go, no, it's full. We can do this and this and this. So he contacts, I mean, it's back and forth with emails, and it's crazy. And the movie, what's the name of the movie? The guy that we were going to connect with.
The one from one from France.
In England. Yeah, that was France. Yeah, the French movie. What?
Mr. Bordeaux. The one that didn't.
No, from east to west.
Eastbound, westbound. A winemaker.
There you go. Okay,
Face of the
eastbound, westbound.
Yeah, Mr. Bordeaux. Jeffrey Davies and Gerard Spatafora. Something like that.
Yeah, I need to get a hold of them directly. The person that I was booking through on them said, get a hold of them directly. Don't contact me. So I need to get a hold of those guys directly. And the mistake was when we talked to them Sunday, they expected us to call them. And so we may have to do it this next time, call them. I suppose we can still do it. I mean, we might not be able to hook up to Facebook, but we can still call them. Am I not correct on assuming that?
We may have to use, we were talking about WhatsApp or something. We can use one of those methods if they have it.
Right.
We could do that.
They were asking me about Zoom. We need to coordinate that because I want to get that coordinated before I start contacting them and setting up times. I'm going to be sure that we can contact them. So,
okay.
You need to watch your email. I will be emailing you on stuff when I find out through them.
Okay.
So keep on top of that. So this is what we got coming up here now over the next couple months. We got quite a few interesting shows, some good guests and interesting shows. So stay tuned. But tonight you're with us, and we're already a quarter of the way into the show. We have a show lined up here tonight. We're going to talk about women and wine. March is Women Celebration Month, Women in the World Month. However it's referred to, and I'm not no disrespect, but I don't know how it is referred to. But they've had seminars around the world and women panels and all sorts of things so far this month. I've seen references to it 5 or 6 times already, and there's other stuff coming up for the rest of the month. We're only on halfway through here. In fact, speaking of halfway, we're Pie Day today. Today is Pie, but we're all sorts of women celebration, and because March is the Women's Celebration Month, where I'm going to talk about women in wine and women in wineries and excuse me, and women being part of the wine business, which really is not much. The number of women that own wineries, according to latest research, the latest thing, in California, owners or co-ownerships is 38%. That's California. When you start factoring in the whole world, that drops down quite a bit. That the number of wineries in the world that are actually owned by women, I think, is around 5%, which is amazingly low. Let's see what's here's a good article here. Women winemakers of California and beyond is of the 4,200 plus wineries in California, approximately 14% of them has a woman as her lead winemaker. 14% is all. So that's pretty low. His question was, weren't 10% of California winemakers women in 1890? And it says the oft-quoted statistic has attributed this to journalist William Heinz, who wrote 2 books on the history of Napa Valley. Neither of the books mentioned this 10% figure, so it was probably considerably lower. And it wasn't until the 1960s that it started to get more women out there. First recognized woman winemaker in California was Hannah Weinberger. She took over after her husband's death in 1882. Yes, that's 1882. She became the first female winery owner and winemaker in Napa. And she ran Weinberger Winery until prohibition laws closed it down in 1920. That was a shame. So, but the first woman winemaker, 1882. That's just amazing there. How many women have been inducted into the Vintners Hall of Fame? 3. That's been it. We have Carol Meredith in 2009, Zelma Long in 2010, and Mary Edwards in 2013. It's 6.25% of all those who have been inducted have been women. In 1982, Mila Hanley made her first Hanley Cellar Chardonnay from Mendocino. First time a woman had her actual name on the label. 1984, Mary Edwards was consulting in Mary Vintners, a small winery in the Russian River. She produced wine there and had her name on the label. Delia Veeder, Veeder Vineyards in Napa, 1989, had her wine name on the label. Kathy Corson from Napa Valley also, 1987. 1989, Lane Turner had the Lane Turner label in Santa Barbara County, Southern California. 1989 also, Marty Bannister established Bannister Wines in Russian River Valley. 1997, Iris Riddell, I believe, was the first black woman to own a winery in the United States, and that was in Solvang, Santa Barbara County. And 1997, also Pam Starr partnered with Charlie Crocker to establish the Crocker and Starr label in Napa Valley. So, not very many women have had their names on labels over the years. These are in California. These are new ones. This is all California here, this information. Let's see. It says, do well-known winemakers craft wine for more than one winery? Yeah, they do. Men mostly, it says here. Let's see what percentage. Here's a good question. What percentage of California wineries has a woman as an owner or co-owner? According to our research, female ownership or co-ownership represents about 38%. I think I just said that at the beginning of this, didn't I? Let's see. Is there additional evidence about women receiving increased acclaim for their wines? There are some. Wine and Spirits magazine, top 100 wineries. They list 5 consecutive years. The percentage has been less than 10% in previous years, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 women listed. Also, Wine Spectator, top 100 list. They have women listed here in 21, 22, and 23. The highest I see here is number 3, Brittany Sherwood of Heinz Cellars. Then on down from there. And number 3, Wine Enthusiast Top 100 Cellar Selections globally. And in previous years, the percentage was less than 11%. This jumped up to 20% on the latest women on there. And number 4, Wine Enthusiast Top 100 Wines. There are 4. I'm reading the wrong column. There are 4. In 2022 of the California wines included in the top 100, 17 were in California, and of those 4, or 23.5% from California, were wineries that had women as lead winemakers. And 22 California wineries are included. And and last one here are the California members of the African American Vintage Association who are women. It says, yes, there are several, including Theodore Lee, Theopolis Vineyards, and McBride Sisters. And so there you go. There are quite a few globally, quite a few black-owned wines around the world, but the number of women is almost here. This question, how many black-owned wines are there? According to Bloomberg, only 0.1% of the entire wine industry in the U.S. in 2020 was black-owned, and 0.06% of the wineries are black-owned in 2019. Let's see. I was going to talk about the women that were owning it. I guess it does in here. Wow. It does list. Well, is this a women? I am confused. That's black-owned wine labels by regions. Okay, we've got that here, but it doesn't say. The article started out talking about women owning these, and now it just went over and included male and female in this article. Well, oh well. The states that are black-owned labels: California, Florida, Illinois, Kansas, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Oregon, Vermont, Virginia, and Washington. Florida, when I saw that, surprised me on here, though. The wineries in Florida, Mimosa, I've never heard of that. Wandering Wines in Coconut Grove, and Wifey brands. I'm sorry, I've never heard of any of those. And here I am in Florida. Mimosa, Florida's first black woman-owned wine brand, founded by Desiree Noisette, specializing in sparkling wines. The brand is inspired by Noisette's ancestor, Celeste Noisette, a black Haitian woman whose white French husband, Philippe Noisette, held ownership of her and their children to protect them from slavery. When Philippe died, he left all of his possessions to Celeste and her children, who were all emancipated. It sounds like these are older wineries. That's why I've never heard of them. I'm sure they've closed since then. Wandering Wines, headquartered in Coconut Grove, Florida. Wandering Wines line includes Cabernet Sauvignon and Chardonnay and others from Mall Valley, Chile. Co-founder Matthias Kaiwanuka is the grandson of Uganda's first prime minister, was a 2006 first-round NFL draft pick, and played 9 seasons with the New York Giants. Wow, I never knew that. I never heard of Wandering Wines. And Wifey brands, Veneta-grown Rapasso grapes star in Wifey Sparkling Rosé, which launched in October 2019. I'm going to have to look those up. I have no idea where those are located or anything about them. The first one sounds like it's an older wine, but that was interesting. Huh. Kansas has one. Jennifer McDonald established the first urban winery in Wichita, Kansas. And she uses grapes from California and Kansas. And North Carolina one, Ohio one, Oregon has quite a few, 5 or 6 there. Vermont one, Virginia has 3, and Washington. Then it talks about France and Germany and Italy. So there are quite a few black-owned wineries scattered throughout this country and around the world. But that was not what we were looking for. We were looking for women in wine. Let me go back to that. Go back. Okay, here we are. Okay, women-owned wineries. Kathy Corson is an American winemaker, entrepreneur, and consultant. She specializes in Cabernet Sauvignon. She was San Francisco Chronicle's 2011 Woman Winemaker of the Year. Woman Winemaker, or Winemaker of the Year. I don't think it even said woman, just Winemaker of the Year. Good for her. Kathy is an American winemaker and specializes in, well, see, that's, it all says the same thing under each of these categories here. Let me click on that women. Well, boy, this takes you to all sorts of weird stuff. Here you go. Here's some women winemakers of the USA. We got Pauline Lahote, L-H-O-T-E. She is a French winemaker based in Napa, noted for her sparkling wines. And she is the lead sparkling winemaker at Domaine Chandon. Whoa, that's quite a winery there. She's the lead sparkling winemaker. We also have Anne Moller-Rack. She's president and winemaker at Donum, D-O-N-U-M Estate, based in Northern California. She's been in the business for 37 years and founded Donum in 2001. Donum, D-O-N-U-M, Donum, I guess, is considered to be one of the top Pinot Noir producers in California. And then it goes on and tells a little bit more about it. I'm not going to go through all that. Keith Overstreet. This is one woman who did medical schooling and post that she pursued her passion of being a winemaker. Overstreet started Brumelian. Oh, geez, why don't they just pick a simple name on wineries? They all do this, you know. I mean, it just everybody wants to be unique, and nobody can pronounce it properly. B-R-U-L-I-A-M. Brulium. The vineyard, which was named after her 3 children. Her 3 children are all named Brulium. Starting with the single barrel, she has grown Brulium wines to 10,000 or to 1,000 cases a year. And she still does the day-to-day operation and everything. Kathy Corson. She's an American winemaker, specializes in Cabernet Sauvignon. Her winery was founded in 1987. She was San Francisco Chronicle Winemaker of the Year in 2011. She's one I just read to you about. And next we have Michelle Ouellette and Melinda Kearney. It's a mother-daughter duo who are the winemakers for Lorenzo Wines. When they first started, did not receive much recognition of the fact it was a low alcohol and pale pink rosé wine. We've talked about no lows here. This was one of the women that do it. Another reason for it was that it was started by 2 women, but they persevered and stuck to it, and the success has proven that it's really been quite well for them, the no-low and the pink, pale pink rosé wines. Eileen Crane
experienced sparkling winemaker, the most experienced sparkling winemaker in the United States. She spent 35 years in the wine industry. She is the CEO and winemaker of Domaine Carneros. She is most proud of her Blanc de Blanc Cuvée, La Rubie, which is recognized worldwide as America's finest sparkling wine. Wow. That's something worldwide. Genevieve Johnson's, and she is the chief winemaker for Robert Mondavi Winery in Napa Valley. Robert Mondavi. Genevieve? I didn't know. We had a female winemaker there. Next one, Margot Van Staveren. She's been working at Chateau Saint Jean for the past 37 years, and she was titled Winemaker of the Year by Wine Enthusiast in 2008. And she is the one who does the final call on the decisions of blends and styles and everything else out of Chateau Saint Jean. So, pretty big line of wines coming out of there too. That's quite a job. Krista Scruggs is the founder and owner of Zappa Wines. Farm and ferment or forage and ferment. There's no fining, no filtering additives used in the winery, and no herbicides or synthetic pesticides in the vineyard. So, it sounds like she's right at the edge of biodynamic farming there. Krista Scruggs and Zafa, Z-A-F-A. Catherine Hall. She is the proprietor of Hall Wines and Walt Wines in California. She is also a New York Times bestselling author, a perfect score. And besides being into wine, she's also a successful businesswoman, an attorney, and a community activist. Wow, Catherine, you are quite busy, I would guess. Stephanie Jacobs. She is the winemaker since 2017 at Cake Bread Cellars. We've all heard of Cake Bread. If you've ever looked in the store, you've seen it sitting on the shelf. In 2001, she went to work for Bogle Vineyards as an enologist before she landed with Cake Bread. So she's been active in Napa for some time. Melissa Burr was raised in Willamette Valley, and she is winemaker for Cooper Mountain since 2013, I believe. Since 2013. Shauna Rosenblum is a winemaker for Rock Wall Wine Company. Kelly Urbanak Cooch. Kelly is the winemaker at Macari Vineyards. And she also leads the winemaking team for a Long Island producer. Long Island and California. Quite a commute back and forth. She got her BS in viticulture and enology at the UC Davis. And she has worked for several wineries that include Beringer and Beauchesne Vineyards in California and Maison Louis Jadot in France. So she's got quite a pedigree there. Stacy Clark, she's a winemaker for Charles Krug, which is a pretty prestigious winery in itself. Charles Krug winemaker. Linda Trotta. She's been in the business for over 30 years, and she is now the head winemaker at Jameson Ranch Vineyards. And since 2017, she's been there. And she's worked as a winemaker in different places, including South Africa and Chile. So she's had some chances to do quite a bit of stuff there. Sally Johnson. She is a winemaker at Pride Mountain Vineyards in Napa. specializing in Cabernet Sauvignon. Aaron Miller, winemaker at Twomey Cellars, are Silver Oak in Napa and Sonoma Valleys. Silver Oaks, some very nice wines coming out of there. She was on her way to West Africa because she wanted to work down some of her student loan debt, and she worked at Harvest in Napa, and since then she hasn't turned back. She's been involved with Napa wines and Napa stuff ever since then. Gina Gallo, familiar name. She's a winemaker at Gallo's Signature in Northern California. Her grandfather is the original Gallo of Gallo wines, and so she says she feels that her winemaking skills came from her grandfather, Giulio, as opposed to Julian Ernest Gallo. Samantha Sheehan is the founder of Poe Wines, P-O-E. Poe produces traditional champagne method sparkling wines, rosé, chardonnay, pinot noir, and nouveau from pinot noir. So those are women winemakers in California. They and a lot of times our women winemakers, it says of the U.S., but I think those basically, we had a list of California winemakers there. And let's see, okay, this is this the one? No, I don't want to do that. Okay, this is interesting here. This is something else. Here's a list of 13 women-owned wineries and tasting rooms that you can visit. These are women make up less than 14% of winemakers and winery owners in California, and 16% in the entire industry. 16% in the entire industry identify as people of color. So the percentage of women and people of color in the winery business is very, very small. But to find women in the business, to see Bay Area native and natural winemaker Tara Bajalieh, Bajjalieh. Let's see, this doesn't give nationality. Is the newest woman added to the maker roster. It's from Terra Wine Company in Lodi. She makes an orange Vermentino and a carbonic Sangiovese. It's a canned wine. She says, canned by us, or support her women-owned winery by buying bottles. So there's one you can look at, Terra, T-E-R-A-H winery. Second one, Nicole Walsh is a winemaker for a brand called crushing grapes in the ocean. Sir, S-C-R. Why? I had trouble reading that. It cool climate grapes from Santa Cruz Mountains, and they can her Cabernet Pfeiffer, a super rare grape that's out of this world delish. That's a quote. That's not me. Rosé of Grenache and dry sparkling Riesling. Our tasting rooms in downtown Aptos. Let's see, in Santa Cruz area. Aptos. I'm not familiar with the town of Aptos. So Cabernet Pfeffer, Pfeffer. I'm curious. What does this say? Oh, it doesn't. It just takes me to her wine. It's in a can. Cranberry, pomegranate, and white pepper. An ultra-rare grape from 100-year-old vines crafted by Nicole Walsh. Recently profiled in San Francisco is very rare. Oh, it doesn't say too much about the grape itself, so I don't know. It's a dry red wine, 14% alcohol, and 0 grams of sugar. So, never heard of it. A new one that she has round up. It's in a can, so if you are interested in it, you can maybe find it there. And so that's Sir, S-E-R, Winery in Santa Cruz. Sutra Wine Company in Hillsburg. Alice Sutro is the one that runs it, obviously, and she owns it. Women in wine, she loves to talk about women in wine and those who are doing it. She lives and works at Warnick Ranch in Hillsburg, and she says, come visit. She'll take you on a 45-minute nature hike of the storied vines that create her cult Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot as part of your tasting. She also is the winemaker behind our Maker Cab Sauv, the highest rated canned red wine on the market. Maker Cab Sauv. 45-minute walk. Who wants to go on a 45-minute walk? Theopolis Vineyard in Mendocino. Theodora R. Lee, otherwise known as Theopatra, Queen of the Vineyards, is award. Oh, my engineer just brought me a wine. Let's see what she bring me. 1,000 Stories, bourbon barrel aged Cabernet Sauvignon. Proprietor's proof. What does it say? Yeah, proprietor's proof. 2020. Yeah, 2020. She likes the bourbon barrel aged wines, and so we have quite a few of those in our wine rack. It says in the second half of the 19th century, explorers flocked to the American West in search of freedom and fortune. Crafted with their stories in mind, Proprietor's Proof Cabernet Sauvignon celebrates the qualities of adventure and optimism. This rich, full-flavored Cabernet Sauvignon expresses a pioneering spirit along with signature bourbon barrel notes of charred vanilla and dried herbs. Yeah, it's 2020. Let me do a quick taste of this and let you know. Oh, got a great Cabernet nose to it. It really does. I always like that. That's a good start to a nice cab. It's when you have it jump out of the glass at you. Nice legs on the glass. For those of you who are into the legs, it's just got a nice coating on it. It's coming down rather slow. Oh, very nice. Fruity. I'm getting a lot of fruit to it, a lot of young fruit. Picking up some fresh blackberries and some fresh blueberries, not ones that you find in an older cab. This is seems to be a younger cab. It's 2020 though, so this isn't that old. Got some tannins in it, but not a lot. The acid level is a little bit up there. I question the balance on the acid and all the other flavors. Acid seems to be a little bit high, but the bottle's just been opened, so maybe it needs to air out a little bit here. And that wasn't bad. Maybe it was just when you first taste it, the acid just seems to get you more than anything. But a nice wine. We're having pizza tonight. Pizza that's offering Pi Day. You buy one, you get the second one for free. So engineer ran down and got pizza. So this will be nice with pizza. This is going to be a good pizza wine. So let's go back to where we were on this. Theophilus, otherwise known as Theopetra, Queen of the Vineyards, is an award-winning winemaker behind the Black-owned Theophilus Vineyard. Anderson Valley came there by way of San Francisco. She used to be a trial lawyer, and then, as it says here, she decided she needed a drink. It's noted for Petit Syrah and Rosé of Petit Syrah, which we can't get enough of, in Mendocino Coast, and all sorts of events and stuff that's up there. So, Theophilus, Black-owned winery. Hanley Cellars in Mendocino. Mila Hanley was the first female winemaker in the United States to establish a label with her own name. She was in Anderson Valley in 1982, and it's been regarded as one of the finest vintages ever in the 1982. Now her daughter, Lulu, runs the operation and specializes in premium organic Pinot Noir with minimal intervention. You can visit everything and all that. The Maker X Hanley Pinot Noir was the fastest wine to sell out ever. Campovida, 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 Hopland, lush gardens, gorgeous views, good vibes. And they have 6 different tasting experiences. Campovida is an experience to taste the organic Viognier or relax by the pool while you stay the weekend at their retreat. It's a woman-owned winery. Okay. Owned with her husband. J. Ducey Wines, or has to be Janelle Ducey, D-U-S-I's wine roots start way back in 1920. Long-standing Ducey family tradition. Her grandfather, who really made her fall for the craft, and she's been passionate about the Italian wines ever since then, especially the Zinfandel. But her boutique tasting room can be found in Paso Robles. Sippers Inn on the patio overlooking the vineyards. And the old vines, too. Oh, my gosh, they got a picture. And there are old vines. 95-year-old Zinfandel vines. That's cool. But those wines are really good. Whole vineyard of those, too. Cool. Desperada in Paso Robles. Velia has worked in wine for over 19 years before she opened her winery called Desperda, I guess. Desperada. Desperda in Paso Robles. She does red blend, and they said that the red blend in itself is worth the trip. The labels depict different versions of Venus or Diana from the 19th century French paintings. And the crisp white wines are an Italian or Bordeaux blend. They have them all at Disperta. Stolo Vineyards in Cambria, California. Nicole Pope has worked harvesters in South Africa, Australia, and Napa before she finally got her own winery, which she opened. And San Francisco Chronicle has named her the 2019 winemaker to watch. It says, make reservations for a formal tasting, and Nicole herself will guide you through the tasting. They have Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Syrah, and an outstanding Gewürztraminer. So that sounds like that would be fun. That's in Cambria. Yeah, there you go. SoCal, Southern California. Cayman's Two Dreams. Well, that's a long name. Cayman's Two Dreams in Mompoc. Born and raised in Spain, Maria Oh, what? No. Oh, I'm was reading the first line. I was trying to make sense. It says, Maria and Tara are the wife and wife pair who met as harvest interns. The wife and wife pair. I don't understand. Mara was steeped in wine industry at a young age, and Tara, a California Central Coast native, was also. Together, they've harvested grapes in the Pyrenees Mountains of Spain, received masters in enology and viticulture, now own and operate their own woman-owned winery, Cayman's Two Dreams. That's C-A-M-I-N-S, 2, the number, Dreams. Duo is noted for their handcrafted, terroir-driven wines that are fermented with natural yeast. Their virtual tastings are private, personal, and delicious, and we wholeheartedly recommend it. So they do virtual tastings. Nagy Wines in Santa Maria. Clarissa Nagy fell into wine accident. They've been making a batch of Viognier for a friend's wedding, and she was hooked. 10 years of hard work and all that, she eventually opened her own winery, Nagy Winery, N-A-G-Y. Now, the heart of it is Pinot Noir and Syrah. So check those out. They're in Santa Maria. And Casa Dumitz Wines in Los Alamos. Sonia Magdavisky is the personality and expert behind Casa Dumitz. She does. She received a Fulbright once to conduct research in the Republic of Macedonia. Now every one of her bottles has a personal story and mission attached. And the tasting room is in Los Alamos, and it doesn't say what wine she makes. So check her out, Los Alamos. And the last one is Peak Ranch Winery in Santa Barbara. Gil Wagner fell in love with the Santa Barbara countryside and Peak Ranch, particularly, and she began making wine. She met her husband, John, and they gave up city life and went into wine. And their Pinot Noir and Chardonnay have won countless awards. So you can check out their tasting room. Is open for reservation, and so call and make reservations first. So there you go. There's women ran and opened wineries throughout California that you can visit, and tasting rooms and all that. And let's see, there's something else I wanted to tell you before we left here. Or was I saw it today when I was looking through this stuff, and I'm trying to see. Is this the one? Well, I don't know. Oh, here's it. It's talking about women-owned wineries around the world. There's Aslina Wines in South Africa, owned by, well, that name's going to be fun to pronounce. Ntsiki, Natiski, and the last name Biyela, Bayila. Another one here, Teresa Herdia, Gary Farrell Winery, and that is located in the left bank of Bordeaux. Is that right? No, that's not right. No, that is located in Russian River Valley. No. Stephanie or Steph Dutton from Penfolds, that is Australia. Me Goodard, Domaine Me Goodard. She is that's in France, one of the premier areas of the Beaujolais region. Born in South Korea, so that's Me, M-E-E is her first name. Alice Taitanin from Henriot, Champagne, again, France. She grew up running through the vineyards in the area and all that. We got Elena Walsh from Elena Walsh Vineyards, and that is in Italy. And let's see, closing. So there's a few from around the world also. Not a lot of women in the wine business, but it seems the ones who are doing it have grabbed it by the horn and ran with it and are making some great wines. All these articles I read, and I tried to familiarize myself with as much as I could before the show today, and all the articles I read had nothing but praise for the wines that the women are making, the styles and the wines themselves and all that. So it's something that you should check out. Check out women. Just go to Women in Wine, and you will be inundated with all sorts of articles and stuff for women in the wine around the world, and give them a chance. If you patronize them, there'll be a good chance that there'll be more of them popping up there. And who knows, the percentage might jump up from around the world from, 5% on up to 10, 15, 20% of women making wine and owning wineries. So we're done with another
I'm really
episode.
surprised that there's
We'll be busy with
not that
guests
Yeah.
for the next month.
Yeah. It looks like the next one will be Jay Nunez from No Love Lost Winery. Okay.
Did I send you that information?
No, not yet. But
Okay, I'll start sending you all this stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I got names. I can look up some of this, but that kind of helps. I can, like, the next week is, I can pretty much find stuff there. But so that will be our next show, which will be next Thursday, and that is March 21st. We do have a guest, as he said at the beginning of the show. That's Jay Nunez, No Love Lost Winery. So natural wines in Napa Valley. I almost said Napa, Florida. Where did that come from? There's no Napa. Napa. The other Napa,
Yeah. The other Napa.
Yeah, not the Florida Napa, the other Napa in California,
The other one. The lesser known other Napa.
Sad. I don't know why. They just almost rolled off. Thank y'all for tuning in. As always, we do appreciate it. And if you have any questions, comments, or you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email Ron directly, allaboutwine101. I'll wait till you get a pencil. At gmail.com. So, allaboutwine101 at gmail.com. Ron will get that. Check out your qualifications or, what have you, or any of your comments or questions, and we'll go from there and take the appropriate action as necessary. So,
and a couple of announcents. Happy St. Patrick's Day coming up Sunday. I was going to, wait a minute. Let me see if I can find it here real fast. Do I still have it here? I saved it, and I might have clicked out of it while I was playing with all sorts of stuff here. And, here we go. Let me go through this quickly here. 6 celebratory value wines to pair with corned beef. This is the suggestion. This is from who? This is from a Wine Spectator. So, 6 celebratory wines to pair with corned beef. Cabernet Rieslings from Germany. They're reasonably priced, $28. They got just some spiciness, some ripeness, great fruitiness, So Cabernet, Kabinett, Cabernet Rieslings from Germany. Here's another Riesling Cabernet. They suggest this one specifically. In fact, I think that's what they're doing here. I read that. No, it's not. Nick Weiss St. Urbanshof, Riesling Cabernet from Moselle, $19. 90 score on that. Wow. Another Cabernet, Riesling Cabernet Moselle. This is a 92 score. It's $29. Reds from France's Côte de Rhône. St. Cosmo Rhône, 2022. And this is $21. Alan Vogue is Côte de Rhône La Perosis, 2021. That's $25. And Domaine Marchand, $25, a score of 90. So they're saying Cabernets are some lighter Rhone Valley reds would be good partners with your corned beef coming up Sunday on St. Patty's Day. So there, I saved that and I wanted to read that and I forgot all about it until I just mentioned St. Patty's Day. So there you go.
All right. Very cool. Thank you for that. And as I was, March 21st, we will see you all next Thursday. Thanks again for tuning in. And we'll talk to you all at that time at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on wherever you're listening to us now.
Tune in Flightline Radio this Saturday, too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Oh, and we have a new show on Saturday evenings that's live. So the guy did really good. It's all about the 80s. So everything on his show is 80s music, 80s advertisements. It's like,
oh, did he do that too?
Yeah. I was listening to one and I go, this guy's playing a Burger King commercial, but it's not like today's Burger King. It was like back in the 70s, 80s. It was pretty cool. And I was like, wow, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I heard you advertising him, and I didn't get a chance to listen to him.
Yeah, he's got different ads that not getting compensated or anything for it, but it's just something to keep it, like you're listening to an old 80s radio. I mean, it's kind of interesting.
Oh, that's cool. I'll have to tune in. Yeah. Saturday nights at 8 to 10, is it?
Yes. Yeah. Wow. 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. So I thought that was pretty cool. And he does a good job. Cool. Thank you for that. And we will talk to you all next week. Be safe. Have a good weekend. Be safe on St. Patrick's Day. And, drink responsibly. Don't do anything stupid. We want everybody to be safe and return and you know, be
Listen
ready
to
to
us
go.
next week.
Yes. All right. There you go. Have a good one. We'll see you. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for listening.
That is not the right one.
This is all.
That is
It's
the wrong
all about
button.
wine.
Yeah, see, and that was the intro again. Here we go. Gosh, how can I do that?
This concludes tonight's broadcast of All
There you
About
go.
Wine with your host, Ron.
Well, you know, the buttons are next to each other, and one says intro in capital letters, the other one says outro. How could... It's just one of those things. I don't know,
Fat
just-
finger tonight.
Could be, yeah.
For show information, links to All About Wine on Twitter and Facebook, or to be a guest on this show, visit the show website at www.allaboutwinebtr.com. Archived shows are available for download on iTunes or on our show page at blogtalkradio.com/allaboutwine. Thank you for listening. Drink responsibly, and we'll see you next time on All About Wine.